Hello everybody, welcome back to the Middle Game series. Hello Smart Sky. Hello Just to Go. I like your show before even watching. That's very nice of you. So today we will be going to be looking at some tactics. So let us begin. Just a second. Okay, so now we can begin. King e1, Queen c2. Hello player. Queen c2, Rook a1, Rook h1. Bishop e3, Bishop f1, Knight c3. Pawns on a3, b2, c4, e4, f2, g2, h2, Black King e8. So this is kind of an opening position. This is a game between Larry Christensen and Anatoly Karpov, and white to play. Played in 1993 and in vacancy. Hello, David K. Queen d1 double attack, you are right. So they say here, Black is Karpov and Karpov loses extremely rarely in the opening. But his last move was a terrible blunder. How did Larry exploit it? Yeah, this looks very simple, but they have put this in this book because this is a game by Karpov and it very rarely happens like this. And he missed this move, Queen d1. So when we're attacking, sometimes we miss moves like this, where we retreat one piece back. And after Queen d1, double attack on the bishop and attack on the knight. And Karpov lost a piece here and he had to resign this game very quickly. So this is one of those grandmaster blunders. Hello, Vaibhav. Okay, King b1, Queen h5, Rook f1, a3, b2, c2, g5, Black King g8, Queen e6, Rook c8, and black pawns on a6, b5, d6, f7, and h7. Find Black's best move. Yeah, Rook c2 is possible. with the idea queen c4. Yeah, this also looks quite simple. Let me check. 7. Yes, rook c2, good move. So giving up the rook like this, sacrificing the rook. And if white takes the rook, we have queen c4 check. And if the king moves, we take this rook with 2 extra pawns and a winning queen endgame. So in the game, white played a queen f3. And now bring back the rook because queen is defending this rook. So rook c5, attacking this pawn on g5. Queen a8 check, king g7. Queen a6, rook g5. So black is 2 pawns up, queen c6. And after queen d5, black won this game with a winning endgame. Well done, David. King g1, queen b2, rook d1, rook a4, bishop a6, pawns f2, g2, h2, black king e8, queen c5, rook f8, rook f3, knight e5, pawns f7, e6, and c4. This is the game by Peter Swidler, who is playing white, and black is Rublevsky. Russian team 2000. White to play. In such a sharp position, having the move is usually very important. Here it was white who struck first. Bishop b5 check, king e7. Then queen e5. 1 minute. So bishop b5 check, king e7, queen e5, then queen capture e5. And king can run from f6 if you give check. And by the way, this Sunday we are going to have a tournament, Ruches Masters tournament, and we will be having an arena tournament of 2 hours. The time control is 3+0, and we are also giving away prizes for this tournament. So if you are interested, you can play and participate in this tournament, and I will be commenting live here on the stream. So here is the link for the tournament. First move queen b8, then queen b7. Okay, queen b8, king e7, queen b7, king runs to f6. Come on, let's do this one. Alright, so queen b8 check followed by queen b7 does not work because the knight is defending the rook on f3. That's why it is not a double attack. So we have to try something else in this position. And now, the first move is very important. So here in this game, Swidler played rook captures c4 as the first move. And now we're attacking the queen. And now we deflect this knight from e5. And when he takes this rook, now we get this check, queen b8 check, king e7, queen b7, taking this rook on f3. King has to go to f6 because if king goes to e8, queen d7 is checkmate. So king has to go to f6, queen f3 with a check, king e7. And now here the important move is to play rook c1. So we are not just getting pawn, but next move we are also getting this piece on c4. The knight is under pin and there is no defense for black to protect this knight on c4. And there are no moves like knight e5 or knight d2 because there is check, queen b7 check, and next move white will take the queen. So no defense after rook c1. a4, c4, d4, f4, g2, h2, black king h7, h7, queen on d8, rook c8, g6, knight on b4, pawns a5, b7, e6, f5, g7, h6. Yes, it was easy, but also the last move was very important, rook c1. So that wins. Which minor piece is stronger? So we have a game where there is bishop against the knight. Black is to move. Yes. So as you see, these are based on double attack. So we need to find double attack, and now the position looks equal and looks also very innocent and feels like nothing is happening tactically. But in such positions, the tactics strikes. Is stream frozen? Just a minute. Yes, rook c4. Guys, is the stream frozen? David is asking. Just let me know. All right. So the correct move as suggested was rook c4, and here rook captures c4, and then we get this nice double attack on this rook and take on g2. And black wins a pawn, and not just pawn, an important pawn on c4. Okay, so let's see how game continued. g3, defending this mate, queen captures c4, and now knight is a better piece because the bishop is very bad. You see all the pawns are on the dark squares, and knight has some important outpost on d5, on b4, and knight is of course much stronger piece in this particular position. Queen g3, queen c4, rook c1, queen e2, rook c8, knight d5. So very important square for the knight. And black is playing with the light squares here. The game continued just few moves, so I'm playing it out. Queen b3, queen f1, and now this pawn is weak, and also this pawn is weak, so I just took knight f4 and picked up all the pawns. Queen capture a4, and after this queen b3 with the idea to move this pawn, white resigned. So a very nice game. Okay, I want to make an exception and show one endgame here. So I know this is a middle game series, but I just cannot resist with this particular endgame. King h5, pawns on g5, h4, and queen f2. I'll play in your tournament and hope for the lucky prize. Yes, we have a tournament on Sunday. We have a tournament for us on Sunday, and with some prizes. So do join in this tournament. The link is given here. This is a white to play and draw. So now we might see some ideas here, but just be careful how to use this idea. White to play and draw. And they say here, winning is of course the ultimate goal of the game, but sometimes saving a valuable half point gives as much pleasure. Yes, it is a draw, and we have to find the stalemate theme because the queen is on f2 and the king is trapped, but we have to find the correct way to give up these rooks. After rook g5 takes, how to make the correct moves with the rooks, because we can start in both the directions. Hello Akshay. I even got such kind of a position in my game 2 times, like this desperate rooks. Rook g5 and rook g3. So first move is obvious for us, rook capture g5, and after king capture g5, which side to play, rook a5 or rook g3? That is the critical question. And what is the difference? Both moves are possible here. Yes, this is an endgame, but one exception today. So we have to try to understand the difference between both these rook checks. Because if black is able to get out of the checks, then black is winning, of course. Okay, so here the correct move is rook g3. Rook g3 is correct move because the difference is that if we start giving this check, rook a5, now black plays king f6. So we cannot give this check because the queen takes. And you see, if we give check like this, king f7, we cannot play rook a7 because then the queen takes and there is no more stalemate. So black saves this and white has no more checks on both the sides because the queen captures the rook and no more stalemate. So the only way to make a draw here is to play rook g3 check. And now we have to keep checking on the g file only. G file only. So king f5, then rook g5. Anywhere the king goes, we just keep moving the rook on the g file. That's it. And he cannot go to the second rank because if he does, we have rook g2 with a draw. So back to middle games now. Knight f3, knight c3, bishop d3, and pawns a2, b2, c2, e5, f2, g2, h2, king g8, queen d8, rook a8, rook f8, bishop c8, knight d7, and games have nice harmony, yes, but also very tricky and very difficult to learn, especially rook endgames. White to play. Hello Akstev. It feels pleasing to see you live streaming, thank you. So now here we are going to talk about a strategy called as the Greek gift. You might have heard this word, Greek gift. So we are going to learn a little bit about this and what are the elements of this Greek gift. So first of all, the bishop sacrifice on h7 is a very old idea. When an attacking knight can land on g5, so when the knight can go to g5 and the queen can reach the h file, your alarm bells should start ringing. It is easier to give the conditions under which it does not work. So they have given here the conditions in which it does not work. One second. What are the conditions? First, if black can defend with knight f8, so if black has a defense like this, knight f8 or knight f6 or bishop f5, or the queen is defending in this diagonal, so queen d2 or queen c3, if black is able to get these pieces, then he can defend it. Then next is black's king can safely escape by f8. So if black takes the bishop and goes back and runs away like this, then he is okay. Then next is black's material advantage is already so large that he can afford to give up the queen for the knight with queen g5. Yes, Trojan horse, you're right. So they say don't take Trojan horses or bishops. So you know this story from the history about Trojan horse, how they sent a wooden horse filled with army, and in the night they got out and attacked. So yeah, these are the 3 things to keep in mind before playing h7, before giving up this bishop. So first is defense ideas like knight or bishop or queen defending this. Second is king running. And third is queen sacrifice for the knight. So in this particular case, it works because these 3 cases do not work for black. So we give this check. Remember this idea, bishop capture h7 check. King h7. Of course, king h8 is just losing after queen h5. So he has to take. Knight g5 check. So here queen h5 is also possible, or knight g5. Both is possible. Queen h5 is even more precise because it just eliminates the idea of king g6. King g8. Queen h5. And now the threat is queen h7. And there is no defense except to move the rook. Rook e8. And now how to finish off this game for white. Hello Musin, nice to see you. White to play and finish off this game. Queen f7, king h8. There are many ways, but what is the best way for white to force a checkmate? Knight f7, then he will just move the queen. Let's say queen e7. h4. What is the idea after h4? Let's say he takes this, knight capture e5. Queen h7. Sorry, queen h7, then king f8. Hello, Tio. Come on, wake up, everybody. Find the mate. It's very easy. Queen f7, king h8. Just tell mate in how many moves? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 moves, but it's very easy. We just have to know the idea. Okay, so I will tell. Yes, Chisel has found it. Well done. So queen f7. First move, queen f7. King h8. And now queen g6 is also winning. For example, with this idea, but he will give the queen and it will take long time, but it's also winning. But forcing mate is queen h5, king g8, and now queen h7, king f8, and now there is no pawn on f7, so queen g7 is mate. So this is the idea of the Greek gift. So we should know this pattern before giving up the bishop on h7. So going back again, this was the starting position. Bishop h7. And this is the pattern, check. And mate on g7. King g1, queen f2, rooks d1, b3, bishop d3, knight d7, pawns a4, c2, f4, g2, h2, black king g8, queen a2, rook e8, rook c7, bishop a8, knight c6, pawns a5, e6, f7, g7, h7. White to play. Here the question is bishop h7 works or not. Thank you for following Blunder Lover. Funny name. So white to play and win. Hello Blunder Lover, how are you doing? This is a very beautiful position. Yes, Greek gift, but how to use that idea here? So bishop h7, then king h7. We need to calculate it till the end. So what after that? Bishop h7, king h7. Queen h4 or rook h3, I will go king g8. And if you double on the h file, then black can play f6 and try to run away. White to play and win. Yeah, black's idea is to play f6 in the end and try to run away from king f7. Horse, white f6. When do you want to play horse, white f6? You want to start with knight f6? Then gf6. Queen g3 with the idea knight f6. Queen g3, then I will play king h8. If bishop h7, king h7, queen h4, I will go king g8. If you bring the rook to h3, I will play f6 and try to run away like that. So what to do here? How to win? So chess to go says bishop h7, king h7, rook h3, king g6, queen g3, king f5, queen g5. That is right. That is right. So black will play king g8 and not go out with king g6. So after you give rook h3 check, black will go back king g8. Queen h5 after a pawn push. And what is the idea after queen h5? I will move the rook. You're attacking my rook on e8, so I will move it. Alright, so first move is bishop h7, king h7. So now we can go anyway, queen h4 or rook h3. Both is good. Queen h4, and of course he cannot go king g6 because it will be made soon after rook g3 check. So he will go king g8, rook h3. Now one second. After king g8, there is knight f6, I guess. Yeah, bishop h7, king h7, queen h4, king g8, and this beautiful move, knight f6. So you see that black was defending with pawn f6. So we stop it and we play knight f6 check. G capture f6. If he plays king f8, we just take this rook, knight capture e8, because he cannot take there is rook b8. Yes, look at this line, king e8, then rook b8 check, knight takes, then rook d8 is made. So he cannot take this, and white just means material. So going back here, black takes G capture f6. And now rook h3. So he cannot escape very quickly after this. This is the mate idea, queen h8. And how to defend this mate? If he plays king f8 trying to escape like this, white takes queen capture f6 again with this mate threat, rook h8. If knight e7, queen h6 check and mate like this. So very beautiful attacking idea here by white. So this move was very important, knight f6. So you see, in sacrifices like this, Greek gift, we need to find different ideas. It's not just same pattern all the time. Bishop h7, king h7, and this beautiful idea, knight f6. And after that, these double pawns are a very difficult for black to get out of this. Thank you for following. And here there is no defense after this. So white wins with a forced checkmate in the end. Next one. White king f1, queen c5, rook e4, rook d1, bishop e2, knight b6, pawns on a2, b4, e6, f3, g2, black king on h8, rook h6, knight g8, bishop g7, another rook h8, queen h4, and pawns h7, g3, f4, a6. And this is black to play. What is the material? White is a pawn up. But black has some attack going on the h file. Queen h1 mate, it's not a mate because white plays queen g1. Rook d4, interesting idea. And this is called as interference. Cut him off. So black prevented white's vital defensive queen retreat. So white's defense is to play queen g1. So we have to try to cut him off. And in the game, black played bishop d4, attacking the queen and also threatening queen h1. And they say rook d4 wins as well. So well done, Chisel, in finding this move, rook d4. So both these moves win for black. The main idea is that we have to stop queen g1, which defends everything, and then white is better after that. So black plays these moves, and after that there is no defense for white. We are giving up the piece. But if he takes, there is just mate on h1, queen h1. Welcome, Rominja. Black prevented white's vital defensive queen retreat with bishop d4, and white resigned 0-1 after just one move. So beautiful. King g2, queen e2, rook e1, rook h1, bishop e4, bishop d2, pawns on a3, b2, c4, f4, and h2. What about rook c1? Where rook c1? Because black is threatening queen h1 mate. That is why it's the answer. And after that, there is no defense for white. This is black to play. A game between two very strong players, about 2600. So white is Jiang Chon and black is Judith Polgar, played in 2002. Black to play and win. Material is equal, but both sides have bishop pair. Black has the attack. Look at the rooks on h file, attacking on h2, and white's all pieces are very passive, defending everything. g3. Okay, g3 white will take, hg3. What else do we have here? How to use the placement of all the pieces. Black is having very good position, very nice attack. Yes, Mohsin, you are right. You found this beautiful idea. Look at this. Well done. Bishop e3. Look at this beautiful move by Polgar. Bishop e3, and now we are creating an interference with this defense on e4. And now we are threatening to play bishop e4 check, and also getting this rook on h1. And white does not have a defense after bishop e3, because if bishop capture b7, then we take with the queen with a check, and after king f1 it's just mate queen h1. If we take this bishop like this, we take on e4, and also we get this rook. What else white has here? If we place queen d3, we can take either of these bishops and we get a piece. I like bishop d2 more, because we're also attacking the queen here. Hello, John Twitch. John Twitch is here with energy and fire. And look at this beautiful idea, bishop e3. So nice move. Okay, next one. Hello, Shreyas. Hello, Dr. Zwaishinzak. Welcome, everybody. King g8, queen c3, rook c2, rook c8. Black bishop g7, pawns on f7, e7, d6, b7, a6. And how to continue white's attack? White to play. And Yeah, white to play and win. And we are having a tournament on Sunday for our viewers. So we are having a tournament on Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Indian time with prizes. So I invite everybody to join this tournament. It will be for 2 hours. Blitz tournaments 3+0, and I will be commenting the games on the stream. I will be commenting on your games on the stream. So do join in this tournament and let's have some fun. Yes, it will be prizes there. F6, rook g7, f6, black will play queen f6. Hello, potato boy. Which is this language? I don't understand. Yes, rook e5, rook e5. Rook e5, double exclamation mark, well done. So you see that the queen was defending this bishop and we just make an interference like this with rook e5. And now if d capture e5, we have rook g7 check, king h8, and a simple move rook g4 wins because of these mates like this. Will the stream continue till 8? Yes, it will. And this is winning. So in the game after rook e5, black played queen a1 check, king h2 and rook c1, trying to create some threats by playing rook h1 mate like this. So now white plays rook capture g7 check, king h8. We take this rook first. And now black cannot take with the rook because there is rook g8. Rook g8, yeah, rook g8 will be mate. So he cannot take like this. So he played queen capture e5. And this was how the game was over after f4, 1-0. Okay, we'll see you, Dr. Zwaishinzak. After f4, there is mate. And if black takes the queen, let's say first queen capture g3, king g3, rook c1, and rook e7 is a winning endgame for white. So well done for finding rook e5. Next one. King g1, oof, king g1, queen d1, rook a1, rook f1, bishop c1, bishop g2, pawns, hello collision, a4 b2, d4 e2, f4 g2, h2, king e8, queen d6, rook d8, rook h8, bishop b4, knight e4, pawns h7, g7, f7, e6, c6, b7, and a5. Black to play. Game between Kempinski, white, and Zhang Pengxiang is playing black. Both are 2500 players played in 2002 Linares. No, this is black to play. Black to play. Black's knight is hanging in the air. What to do about it? Queen d4, queen d4, rook d4. But you have to be careful before playing queen d4, because queen d4, then he takes the queen. And now, let's say bishop e3. And you have to defend this knight. And if you play rook c4, b3. So you go for the pawn, but you may end up losing the piece. Knight d2, yes, yes, Mohsin, you're absolutely right. Look at this beautiful move, knight d2, like this. Now we're attacking the rook and also attacking this d4. So again, a theme of interference. Now white takes the pawn, white takes the knight, bishop capture d2. We give this check, queen d4, e3, and now not take on d2, but first we take on b2. Take one more pawn and the next will take this piece on d2. This is much stronger. Rook f2, rook capture d2. And after this, black was winning. Because this time we have two extra pawns with a winning endgame. Well done. Find white's next move. White to play. White is an exchange down. Pawns are equal. Rook e7, queen g5, king h8, knight e7, and then knight g6 check and queen h6. Okay, 1 minute. After knight e7, black plays rook f6 is not possible. Queen e8, yeah. Black will play queen e8 after that. So if... yes, you are right. Yeah, Chisel's idea looks interesting. Knight e7. So same idea, but we start with the knight. What about it? What do you think? Knight e7 threatening queen g5. And queen e8 doesn't work because knight covers g6. Yes, knight e7 looks very interesting. So, knight e7 was played in the game. Knight e7. So, of course, rook e7 does not work because just queen g5 check and rook capture e7 and followed by mating ideas on g7. There is no defense. If this, then this is just winning for white. So he cannot take the knight. He cannot even take with the queen because same, and we get this rook after queen g5. Hello, James Blunter, welcome. Yeah, now queen e8 is not possible because of knight f5 check. That is the difference here. So in the game, black played d5. Bishop capture d5. Knight c8. Rook h6. And now what to do here? White to play. Queen g5. Yes, queen g5 is possible. Queen g5, then rook g6. So in the game, white played rook e7. Rook e7 check. Queen e7. And queen h6, king h6, knight e7. And white won after some further moves. Okay, next one. King e1, queen h3, rook d1, rook f1, bishop c3, bishop d3. Pawns a2, b2, f4, g2, h2. Black king d7, queen b6, rook b8, rook g8, bishop e7, bishop a6. Pawn a7, d5, f5, e6, h7. Who is better and why? Black to play. Thank you for following. Of course, black is better because of bishop h4 check. Bishop h4, king e2. I need some water. I will bring some water. Back in a minute. Okay, 1 minute. What is happening? So the answer was suggested by Chisel. Well done, Chisel. So look at this beautiful idea. So first move is Rook G3. Wow, look at this. Now we are attacking the queen. White cannot take with the pawn because there is Queen E3 check and it would be mate. So white takes Queen capture G3 and now this pin Bishop H4 with the same idea. We are pinning the queen and when white takes the bishop, Queen E3 check and here it will be made like this. Well done. Silly king. Knight E3, bishop E2. B2, C3, D3, E4, H2. Black king G8, knight E7, queen F6. Thank you for following, Suraj. Okay, this is white to play. White's attack looks strong. How to convert it into a full point? Material is equal, but white is having some attack on the king side. Knight g4. So after knight g4, black has two options. Queen f8 or queen f4. These are two moves for black. So white to play and win. e5 is not possible. The pawn is pinned. Yes. Simple queen h6 threatening knight f6. Then I will play queen f7 and try to run. Or maybe king f7 also is possible. Yeah, king f7. Mighty knighty. This is about mighty knighty. Hello, Salambo. Rook takes c5. You want to take the pawn, yes, on c5. And be happy with the pawn. But there can be something better than that. That is the last option, yes, to take the free pawn on c5. Yeah, knight g4. We have to think about queen f8 and queen f4. Thank you, Suraj. Yes, knight g4. Now black has to play either this or this. These are only two moves for black. And Shreyas already found for queen f4. Yes, well done, Shreyas. He found for both the lines. So look at this. If queen f8, we just give this check, knight h6 check. And now wherever the king moves, knight f5 check, and next move rook g7 is winning for white. And after knight g4, if he plays queen f4, these are the only two squares for black queen anyway. And now we have knight h6. Again, this, if he answers this, there is knight f5 winning instantly. And if he plays king f8, the beautiful idea is to play rook f5 check. Like this. And now if he takes the rook with pawn or the knight, there is mate, queen f7 mate. So again, another beautiful position on interference idea. Yes, beautiful, rook f5. King g2, queen f3. Rook b1, rook h1. Bishop on d5, bishop on d2. Pawns on a3, e4. f2. g3, g4. Hello, Zindi. King g8, queen d7, rook b8. Rook c2, bishop d4, knight a4. And pawns on b5, e5, f7, g6, h7. Thank you for following. Yes, correct. White to play and win. Bishop is under attack on d2. Hydrate by Prem and Zindi. Okay. I needed that. Rook h7. So now black can take the rook or take the bishop on d2. And I want to tell you again that we are having a tournament on Sunday for the viewers. So this is the link for the tournament. Sunday arena tournament, and we will also be having prizes for top 3. So I invite you everybody to join this tournament. Thank you for following, Omar. And I will be commenting on the tournament live on the stream. Everyone is so hurried in the tournament. I will pass. No, of course, play it, and it's an arena tournament for 2 hours. So everybody has chances in this tournament. Good afternoon, Omar. So rook h7, black will play rook capture d2. And attack on f2. Bishop h6. Bishop h6, just rook capture f2. And it's GG. Rook h7, rook d2, rook h1. But then black will take on f2 again. h7, f7. Okay, so first move rook capture h7. If black takes the rook, we play queen f6 followed by rook h1. So this is the idea. And white wins. Because you can't start with rook h1 because black will play king g7. Okay, but black here plays rook capture d2. Now black is threatening to play rook capture f2. So white played rook capture f7. Rook capture f7. Rook capture f2 check. We are also attacking his queen like this. We are also attacking his queen. Queen capture f2. And now if black plays bishop takes queen, we just take his queen with a check and then we take his piece like this. So he played queen capture d5. E d5. And this is winning endgame for white. This seems to be the most difficult so far, maybe. But it was just simple idea, rook h7 and rook f7. But we need to calculate till the end. Hello Mustard First, nice to see you. Yes. Okay, next one. Is black's king really safe on e7? White is to move. Hydrate by Omar. Yes, black king is not safe. Looks like that he is safe with hiding behind his 3 pawns. Hello, Daksh is back. Welcome again. As I told you, yes, and as I told you, I'm still streaming. So here we are. Queen g7. So you are threatening to take here like this. After queen g7, black will defend with, let's say, rook e5. White to play. c4, then black just takes the bishop. Yes, yes. And the black king is not safe. So looks like black's king is so far hiding behind these 3 pawns, but white can finish the game very quickly here. So the correct move, as suggested by many people, is rook capture e6. Rook capture e6, destroying all this defensive pawn shield. F capture e6, and now queen g7 check. King d6, and again the next rook sacrifice, rook capture e6. And after king e6, queen takes queen. And white gets a winning endgame and also has 2 extra pawns with many threats. All these pawns are under attack. Bishop c4 is a threat, and white is winning here. King g1, queen e2, rook d4, rook c1, bishop b4, and bishop b1. White pawns, so white has a bishop pair, I see. Thank you, Croatian, for subscription. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. White has a decisive attack. White to play. Great information always here. Thank you once again. Go, go, go. Queen c2. Black will play g6. Queen h5. Also g6. Bishop h7. Black takes the bishop. King capture h7. What after that? Rook h4, king g8. And after queen h5, again, where is the mate? Yeah, rook h4 is a blunder, so white has to start with queen h5. King g8, rook h4. Queen c2, g6 and bishop c5. Winning the pawn, yes? So we found a line where we win a pawn. But I'm not sure if you're winning a pawn there. Because, you know, if you're greedy, and if you take 1 minute, I will show you. If you play this and go for the pawn, you can play rook c8 and you are in danger after this. Because rook c1 will be mate. So you go for the pawn, but you lose the point. Like this. Hello, Phoenix. After rook h4, black needs to respond. Here, rook h4. See you soon, photo session with mom. Okay, Shreyas, have fun. See you next time. Okay, bishop at 7, king at 7, queen h5, king g8, rook h4. Let's say I play rook f8. Where is the mate after that? That's when I fly. I just read the information about the game. It is played in 1982 in a correspondence game. So Brian, how will you flag your opponent in a correspondence game? So this one looks difficult. This one looks difficult. Okay, everybody's suggesting bishop h7, king h7, queen h5, king g8, and rook h4. But I still don't see a mate here. You want to play this and this, so I will try to run away like this. Wait until he ages and retires. Rook c3 here. Then I will play rook f5. And now I'm running away from all the checks. So not easy. Hello, Mega Gamer. But this is a trick position. This is a trick position. Hello, Jamaica Future. Welcome. Thanks for following. So now, before this, we were solving so many Greek gift position that everybody wants to play bishop h7. But there can be something else too. There can be something else. So bishop h7 is not working, so we have to find alternate moves. What about first move, queen h5? Why not just simply attack h7? Yes, just simple queen h5 is the first move. We don't have to sacrifice this bishop. Now he has to play g6 because we're attacking h7. If he plays h6, we have this queen g6 with the same idea, but now we have the extra bishop. And there is no defense for queen h7, rook f4. Because now rook f8 is just made like this with the bishop. So having this bishop makes a big difference. That is why after queen h5, he will play g6. And now it is time to sacrifice the bishop. Bishop captured g6. hg6. And very well done. Rook g4 is the correct move here. Rook g4. And black resigned. Now queen g6 is a threat. Even rook g6 is a threat. So this is the solution for this. Queen h5, sacrifice the bishop, and then just bring the rook. And 1-0. Yes, nice position, right? This one. King h1, queen f3, rook b3, rook d1, bishop e4, knight c3. Hello, Bliv for chess. Nice to see you. Greetings. Thank you for following. White to play. White wins by using a typical attacking motive. Which one? That's my first stream chat in Lichess. So thanks for your work and efforts. Thank you so much. Don't quit short. How did you like Chess 960? I enjoyed it very much. You know, that night was such a nice night because I played Chess 960 tournament for first time in my life. And I won that tournament. I won that tournament in the end. So I was very happy. F6 or D6? How to begin? F6. So black will play bishop f6. Yes, rook e8 is the defense for black. You are right. At rate by Donkey. Okay, this will be my last position for tonight. I'm looking at d6 or b5. You going already? Something I said. No. I'm going after this position. And I will try to play tonight, maybe something. Let's see. And do join the viewers tournament on Sunday. So we are having a tournament on Sunday with prizes. So do join in, and I will also be streaming and commenting on the games. So this is the link for the tournament. Is there a minimum rating to join? No, there is no restrictions. It's open for everybody. What time control? It is an arena tournament for 2 hours and it is 3+0. And this is the link. You can just click on it and check all the details. Push that grumpy pawn forward. f6, bishop f6, queen f5, rook e8, queen h7, king f7, and d6. Yes, we have to push this, as James Blunder said, grumpy pawn forward, f6, and open the bishop's diagonal towards this side. So now black has to take with the bishop, because of course, if pawn takes, it's just too bad. We can simply play check first and then queen f5, followed by mate on h7. Or directly queen f5 is also possible. So black takes with the bishop, and now queen f5, threatening mate. He cannot play g6 because the bishop will be lost, so he has to play rook e8, trying to escape with the king. And let me check the game continuation. Yes, queen h7, king f8, and now black is trying to escape here when we give this check. Hello, GM Genius. So we have to stop this square by playing d6. Now the threat is to give this mate. Black plays g6, defending with the bishop. And now we exchange this bishop first and play rook f1, attacking the bishop and also f7. And there is no defense. If he plays rook e6, which was played in the game, rook f6, and it's 1-0. Because again, queen h8 is a threat. Well done, guys. Okay, I will stop here for today. And I will see you next time. So have a great day. And maybe I will play tonight something. So see you all and take care. I will rate somebody who all are streaming. Thank you, Mustard Fuzz. Okay, let's rate Grandmaster Kamsky. Bye bye. Take care.